welcome everyone. This is the Trusted Referral Network. And as you know, we are a group of marketing services providers around the country and in Canada. I'm not sure if anybody here is from Canada today, but we meet once a week, alternating Tuesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern and Wednesdays at 11 a.m. To get together, get to know one another, get to learn about each other's businesses. Somebody each week has a showcase. So today, Lavender is presenting a showcase, and that's 15 minutes up front, after which everyone should have about 2 minutes or so, depending on the number of folks we have coming in, to do a quick introduction. Keep in mind that this is all about getting to know one another, learning what the other people do, to look for opportunities for collaboration, referrals, etc. There's been some great referrals. If you want to mention any that you have received or given, that's always helpful. As cases in point of the effectiveness of networking. And so I am going to hand over the mic, so to speak, to Lynn. Lynn, you'll have 15 minutes. I'm gonna put my timer on both on my phone and in my window. And you'll see, as your time is getting down there, you'll see it on my window. I'll also give you like a 5-minute warning. Do you want to take questions via chat or live or either, both?
Can we defer them to the end? Because I get off track really easily.
We can definitely do that.
Okay.
So I'll give you the 5-minute warning. Is about 5 minutes enough for Q&A, or do you want less, more?
I may finish before 15 minutes. So, if there's more Q&A, that's fine. If there's less, well, we'll get into the rest of the program.
Okay, that sounds good. All right, take it away. And you can certainly use the
so I'm going to share my screen. And
okay, we see it.
We see it. Oh, it works. Technology is great. There we go. Okay, so good morning, everybody. I'm Lynn Lavender. My company is Nexus Digital, merging design, marketing, and technology. I create custom collateral material that it's all digital, and I come to this from years of experience in sales, in technology, and financial services. This next 15 or 50-second video kind of explains where I'm coming from.
Did you know the things that make you unique can be captured in your marketing materials? I'm talking about your face, your voice, and your personality. Did you know that narration can increase engagement by 500%? The materials that your company provides are the same for everyone. They promote the company, products, and services, not you. Once you capture the attention of your audience, they're more likely to want to know more about what you do. And that's when you want to send them to your website. Wouldn't it be great if you could be memorable, capture viewer contact info to grow your prospect list, and have no limitations on distributing your materials? Well, you can. What I've done for myself, I can do for you. Just scan the QR code to learn more.
Oops.
Lynn,
yeah, I know. I'm starting. There we go.
No, that's okay. I just want to also let you know that you have one bar. I think it's probably your control bar that's right.
Oh, there.
In the middle. If you just move it to the side, or
how's that? Is that better?
No, it hasn't moved.
Huh.
There it is. Now it just moved.
Okay.
It's up to the upper left. If you can, I don't know if you can minimize it. That's fine too.
Well, actually,
whatever. That's fine at the bottom left. Now you have something in the middle.
Yeah,
there.
actually, I need the bottom. I'm going to put it up to the top left. Okay, so anyway, in order to be memorable, we have to establish what it is that's unique about each of us. And what is truly unique about each of us is we all have different voices, different images, and certainly different personalities. And up until now, it's really been too expensive to get a person's persona into their individual marketing pieces. Companies just can't afford to do that. But I'm going to show you how that can be done today. I'm going to show you 3 or 4 different kinds of collateral material that I create that set the individual apart. What you're looking at here is the first iteration. This is the format is kind of an invitation. What? Come on. It would jump by itself. So invitations. This is the kind of invitation that is truly personalized, because when your viewer or your audience gets this in the body of an email, this is what they'll see.
We don't see the invitation because it's overlapping. It's overlapping.
Wait a minute, that's weird.
You have built a successful.
You're going to need to share your entire screen instead of just the application.
Okay. All right, I'm
business
sorry.
will succeed after you retire or are no longer around to manage it.
Oh, okay. So I have to stop the share and start it over again?
And share your entire screen.
All right.
That way we'll see everything that's showing up on your screen. If that's okay, we don't want to.
That's okay, but there we go.
Okay.
Are you seeing it now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this format is an invitation, and in order to be personalized, we can incorporate all those things I just mentioned right into any kind of an invitation. So here's a typical business invitation.
Around to manage it. Very few businesses survive to the 2nd generation and fewer still survive to the 3rd. Join us for lunch at the Yale Club on March 21st and learn about how planning today can help avoid the pitfalls.
Now, this is a prototype, and that was AI generated, so it's not going to sound as good as if a real person were narrating. But in a real situation, this wouldn't just be a headshot. This would be the person actually speaking to you, and it would be a personalized video. This would be a link where somebody could actually sign up for the event. So that's one iteration of how we can do this. Here are some other examples of different kinds of events that might use this format. It could be invitations to galas, fundraisers. And with fundraisers, not only can you have a personal invitation, a message from the executive director, you can have links that allow you to register, links that allow you to donate, and you can put in videos that might create more interest. It could be a video of a mission of the organization, or a client testimonial, or the mission of the organization, anything you want, because it's so flexible, and that's what digital brings to the table. Here's another example of a brochure. This is the kind of brochure that somebody traditionally had printed in the past. So these brochures all contain a call to action. They also have the same kind of narration as well. This is a prototype. It's not fully fleshed out yet, but you can see the power of this. In this particular situation, this link goes right back. Why it did go right back? Oh, because I was hitting on the wrong tab. Sorry about that. Okay. So here's a situation where this is a trifold brochure. It again could be placed right smack in the middle of the email. And again, when the client opens it.
Hi, I'm Dave Rosenbaum. I'm a partner at Citrud Cooperman, leading the firm's technology consulting practice. For more than 45 years, I've helped my clients make better.
I'm not going to make you listen to the whole thing. You get the idea. In this situation, when you open it.
I'm a certified information systems auditor, and as such, I'm very focused on cybersecurity and on internal controls, and on helping each of our clients to keep their systems as safe as possible. The images on this page represent some of the service we provide. Please click on each image to learn more.
So here's a
What's
situation.
really important.
Here's a situation where this is a firm with many different practice areas, many different people. And what happens when somebody sends their client to the website, just the home page, they get totally lost. This practice area, each of these images will click to the correct and appropriate page on the website so that viewers don't get lost and they stay on track. They don't go down the rabbit hole. This is another idea. This is a video of the company that I picked off of YouTube. If this were, again, the final version, it probably would be an MP4 file so that people don't end up wandering off into YouTube land. And at the end, we certainly would want a call to action. Come on.
And by the way, if you have colleagues who might benefit from viewing this brochure, please feel free to share it with them.
So here we have a link. And this is encouraging people to post this on social media, or this could be used as a lead magnet. Fill this out if you want. Here, 10 ways to protect your company from cybersecurity threats, for example. For people who are not in New York, we can always include a map. Nothing too fancy here. So this can be used for lots of different kinds of companies. It's particularly good for companies where there are multiple people representing the company, because once the template for that practice area or the company is developed, then it's really easy to just change out the narration, the contact info, and the image of that person. So each partner or rainmaker for a particular firm, they can have their own version of their brochure. This is my brochure, and I'm experimenting with something. This is a badge, a name badge I just ordered. I'm going to be wearing it to the next live network meeting that I'm attending next week. And I'm going to be testing it out. Instead of giving out business cards that get lost, or if you attend conventions or you attend large network events, half the time we get back to our desks. We don't know which face belongs with which card, and what does the card convey? Just contact info. Whereas the brochure will not only have a bit of you in it, but it will have a lot about your business, and it's then captured on your phone. So this is a lot more efficient than the typical business cards. We don't have to just stick to the format of brochures or the format of invitations. We can do much longer pieces. You can use this for journals, for client information, consumer education. These pieces are much longer, but they have their purpose. And in today's day and age where people have short attention spans, sometimes you can capture their attention for a lot longer if you mix up the digital assets. And also it's appealing to people with different learning styles. Some people are visually oriented, some people are audio oriented, and some people do like text. So this is an example that was created for a financial advisor. And I'm going to turn off the sound just so that you can get an idea of what these things can look like. Sprinkled throughout are links to other things. So for example, here's a chart depicting a cash bonus for an executive as opposed to a premium. You want to know what's behind it, what the facts are, what the disclosures are. Well, we can implant these as well. So these are good. Whoops. Oh, sorry. Fast on the trigger. So these can be used for annual reports. They can be used for journals and make the journals more interesting. I reviewed a journal not long ago, a law journal that was something like 110 pages long, 40 pages of which were transcription of the annual meeting, a total snooze. These are also really cost effective because as opposed to print, unlimited distribution without having to reprint and the cost of, not only the cost of printing, but the cost of distribution. So I didn't include any of my contact info here. So if you want to know more about me or what I'm doing, take a picture of, snap a picture of my QR code and contact me if you like. Within my brochure, you'll see my calendar. You have a link to my calendar as well as my contact info and a couple of other examples of what I'm doing. And that's that. So thank you for your attention.
Thank you. We have a minute left. Do we have any questions from the gallery? Victor Lee.
From the peanut gallery, yes.
Exactly.
Thanks, Lynn. That was really interesting. So I have a question for you. So when you go into places like have multiple practices,
Yeah.
you only have to go in like top down, like, the director of marketing, and then they have to force everybody to do this because I'm sure some people don't want to do it. Or do you kind of like start with one practice, get them to do it, and then everybody else says, like monkey see, monkey do, everybody wants.
Well, yeah, I don't think you can do this all at once. Certainly I can't do it all at once. It would have to be practice area by practice area. But there's another feature that's I'm going to be adding to this shortly, where it'll be easier to manage a project because we'll be able to include asynchronous communications, meaning that people can contact you at will and make their own time. So it'll be a much easier way to manage a project like that.
Okay, let's say we have room for one more question. If there is one, Russ.
Yeah, so what's the entry cost for this? Like what size company would you have to be? I mean, can a single person do it or?
A single person can do it, but what I'm finding is it's not always that cost effective. It really depends on how much, money, the big cost is in the initial development. So if you're going to have a company with multiple people, you're spreading the cost of development over a number of people. So, not to say I haven't worked with individual and solopreneurs. I have. I'm just saying that in general, it's more cost effective for bigger companies.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much. And I know that your own background was in insurance, was it, or
Yeah.
financial advisory?
I'm a recovering insurance agent.
Very cool. Thank you so much. Very informative, really neat. I think so. You're looking for people that work in professional organizations, larger professional organizations who want to stand out within their organization for their clients.
10 and up or not-for-profits who are looking for an additional way or another way to fundraise.
Oh, okay. Thank you. And obviously, if you do have some links that you want to share, everybody should also put their LinkedIn in the chat. And I'll ask everybody to say it at the end. I am going to drop in the chat the order more or less in which people showed up. I'm going to take Lynn out since you've already gone, so to speak. So if your name is not here, let me know. But we'll start with Russ, then Geoff. I think we've got 2 minutes. It's only 25 after. We have 15, 16 people, 15 now. So 2 minutes, give us a half hour. That should work. So if everybody would go on mute other than the speaker, I'm going to put it into speaker mode. And Russ, you can take it away.
Thank you, Michael. I'm Russ Bruzzano. My company is RGP Design. I'm a graphic designer and website designer. I had a lot to say until I went to talk. Now I have nothing to say. So what I want to do today is I'm going to share just a quick story. So one of the other things I do for companies is I can take over a website. I don't necessarily have to design or develop it. If it's a WordPress website and they've lost their webmaster or whoever was taking care of it, updating it for them, I can also come in and do that. Just recently, I had a client that had a function on their website where they do pre-approval mortgage letters. And so it was on demand. Yeah, somebody has to fill out a form, and then they would get in return, once it's been approved, is a PDF with, you know, their company name or their name on it and the amount and so forth. And that had to be an on-demand function. The person I used to do it for them disappeared and they couldn't get it done and they needed to update it. Now, I've never done this before with this particular plugin and this functionality, but within 2 hours, I had everything updated, everything taken care of for them. Because again, my background from the years ago when I used to develop websites, I understand how everything works and I know what to look for as far as how to update something. And so I was able to figure it out for them. And that's all I have for you guys today.
Great. So unique combination of design and technical skills
Right,
comes with Russ. Okay. Up next would be Geoff Strauss.
All right, thanks, Michael. I don't have any combinations. I'm not that fancy. All I do is case studies for businesses to use in their marketing. And basically what case studies are, if you're not familiar, they are your customer success stories. It gives you a chance to let your customers do the talking for you. They provide social proof so people can look and say, well, you know, maybe I don't believe what you're saying about yourself, but then you can pull out this case study and it's real people talking about the real benefits they got from working with you. So if you have had any customers that have had success because they work with you, you need to be telling those stories. And if you don't know how to do that, I'm the guy that can help you do that.
Sounds good. By the way, your audio and video are a little choppy. Not sure if it's your bandwidth or whatnot, but
Okay.
we hear
Thanks
you
for the
okay.
heads up.
No problem. All right, thank you. Any examples you want? Any case studies of your case studies that you want to talk about?
No, not in particular.
Okay.
Thanks for asking.
Okay. I actually suggested that Chaim Ohayon, you know him, right? He's the
Yes.
coach. I suggested he reach out to you because he's got apparently some really good case studies that he should, I think, promote.
Great. Love to talk to them.
John Parsons.
Thanks, Michael. My little 2 minutes is going to come with props today. So I'm with Into Ideas. We're a video content agency, video marketing content agency. So what Lynn talked about with the guy talking in the corner, we're the guys that can produce that kind of video for whatever purpose, so that we can record people doing things. And thanks to a great referral at TRN, we're working with a new client who's doing everything remotely. Most of our footage we capture via people's smartphones or tablets or sometimes webcams. And we do this with every client. We try to put together a kit for audio because the cameras for iPhones and Android phones are fabulous. They're better. People are doing actual movie footage with iPhone cameras now, but the microphones tend to suck, or at least the microphone that's built into the iPhone is not great for broadcast. So we sometimes use a shotgun mic. Most often we use a lapel mic, a lavalier. And the problem with the lavalier or any microphone connecting to an iPhone is this. It's the plug at the end of the microphone. And you look at the tip, it's a 3.5 millimeter plug, and you think, oh, they're all the same. No, they're not. There's a TRS and a TRRS. And this is the nightmare that if you're recording your own video or if you're using a studio like us to record remotely, this is the thing that will fail the most often. And so what I put in the chat next to my information is a fairly entertaining, a little bit geeky, but solid explanation of TRS versus TRRS. And if you want to find out which is the best one to use for your video recording, doing it yourself, like a podcast, or you want to hire us to do something, this will help you understand what the difference is.
Thank you.
Questions is all. I'm good. That's all I got.
All right. I assume it has something to do with a number of sections in the little
It does.
head.
It does. The initials stand for tip, ring, or ring, and then sleeve. And those are the conductive elements. And the TRS, I'll give you a spoiler. TRS does not work well with phones or tablets. It's TRRS. And we've had the client we're just working with decided to buy their own equipment rather than having us configure and send a kit to them. And we literally could only hear them through the crappy iPhone mic.
All right, cool. And audio is critical.
It's
All
half,
right.
half of your success in video.
Yeah, it's actually, I think, more than half of the communication. Okay, Chris Esposito.
Thank you, Michael. Good morning, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Chris Esposito. I run sales and marketing for a technology development studio based out of New York City called Studio Labs. We're a 20-year-old agency as of about 3 weeks ago, building web, mobile, and SaaS software solutions. Over the years, we've built thousands of different digital products, but our main focus today is startup software companies. So I have an idea. Of course, I have some money. I need someone to architect this platform for the long term. I need an MVP built somewhere typically between 4 and 8 month period. And I need your company to maintain this for a period of time until I have enough revenue coming in or raise enough money to hire my own CTO and development team. So the perfect referrals for us right now relative to that category are co-founders, founders, CTOs, CEOs of startup tech companies. At this current time, we are extremely busy, as everyone might imagine, in the area of AI and ML. So we have 3 platform builds going on right now in that area. So much so we're in strategic planning to build out that team even more so with those AI capabilities. And that's Studio Labs.
Thank you very much. Okay. Let's see who is up next. That would be James Heaton. Welcome back.
Yes, hi everyone. I'm back. I was on an assignment suffering in Hawaii for 16 months, swimming in the ocean every day through the whole year, through the winter. Now I'm back in Brooklyn, figuring that out. I joined the Open Water Swim Club on Coney Island. We'll see how that goes. But anyway,
Different than Kona Island, I guess. Huh?
Yes, nice. Yes, a little different. So I'm James Heaton, the CEO of Tronvig, a brand strategy and advertising agency that I proved can be run from anywhere in the world, which is kind of nice. We've been doing this for 26 years, and we practice something we call Socratic creative, which means that essential questions, well answered, reduce waste in advertising. And there's a lot of waste in advertising. So today, I guess the ask is, we just finished a rebrand of the $2.5 billion organization, the Visiting Nurse Service of New York, to become VNS Health. Visual, operational, and behavioral rebrand of the entire organization, all 14,000 employees involved. And we're currently looking for new referrals in the home healthcare sector. So if you know anyone that is in that realm, they would be a great referral because we have a good deal of experience now with a few different organizations.
Very cool.
So James
All
Heaton,
right.
Tronvig.
I may have a lead for you. Wonderful. Let's see, James. Mark Herre.
Yes, sir. I'm Mark Herre. At SEO Game, I offer performance-based SEO, search engine optimization, as a company owner For the last 20 years, this has been my model of no rank, no pay for digital marketers who want to basically get involved with helping their client get to the first page of Google, partnering and getting together with the services that I offer for a digital marketer to get websites on the first page of Google in test drives. 30-day trials roughly is what it takes. I'm always looking, here's my ask, looking for connections, and I want to share my screen. Going here to LinkedIn, you probably have seen this. What I'm showing you now here on LinkedIn is my interest in connecting with lead generation companies. And I know you have a connection with someone who you want to connect with. But for myself, this is how I conduct my one-to-ones. I look for the person who you want to connect with. Then I go to this one thing called all filters, and I look for people. I look for my first connections, and I want to talk about people who are basically talking about in their LinkedIn profile. For me, it's about people talking about SEO, lead generation companies. And then once I get that, I get a little URL that I'm going to share in the chat. And that URL is just for me, but if you clicked it, you're going to get different results on your LinkedIn profile that are people who are in your connections and your first connections that are lead generation companies that talk about SEO in their LinkedIn profile. And those would be great referrals for me. And I want to do the same thing for you and provide you people I actually know and refer back to you. So this is a little neat little tip and trick, and that's what I have to say today.
Wow, that's great. Thank you for that trick, or for that technique. Moving on, Joanie Abraham, then Laetitia Longefosse, and then Rochelle. Joan, you're up.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joanie Abraham, talking to you from Detroit, Michigan, suburb. Basically, we create original content for social media for lifestyle brands who are looking to distinguish themselves on the web and to have their social media channels work harder for them than they currently are, because we entertain as well as sell. We create content that's really designed for the new technology and digital communication. And we tell stories, and they're episodic. I have a wonderful writer and a wonderful artist. And the main focus of the story visually is the product itself that's animated and comes to life at the end of the story with a direct link to the product. But we never talk about the product in the storytelling. So the storytelling is about characters and developing characters in an episodic format, so that especially young people come back every day to hear what the stories, what's going on with the people that we create. And we create the characters in the format of the targeted customer of our clients. I'm desperately looking for lifestyle products, brands that need additional unique kind of content for social media. I do want to say real quickly that I've worked with a lot of your people, and I really enjoy working with all of them. John Parsons, Alan Winnikoff, Jason Cement, and Rajiv, I'm trying desperately to get in touch with. And that's my story.
All right, Rajiv is on the call.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. That was Joanie, Laetitia, then Rochelle, then Victor.
Hello, good morning, everybody. I'm Laetitia. I'm based in New York, and I'm with a company called Facility. It's a French startup. We're a B Corp, and we have developed a solution for any website that is interested in increasing its accessibility to people with special needs, visual, motor, and cognitive. We are pretty strong in the cognitive area, promoting neurodiversity. And we have launched in January of this year an app that is called MyDis, that is aiming to help people struggling with dyslexia. It's, for your information, it's 41 million American. It's 11% of the population who have difficulties reading a written text. So we have this app that allows you to take a picture of a text and display it on your screen, on your iPhone or, smartphone or tablet in a format that is easier for your brain to read. So that's what I've been doing. What I'm looking for is referrals. Companies that are looking for pragmatic actions to show their commitment to diversity and inclusion, that are interested in knowing more about neurodiversity, which I believe is the biggest untapped resource in corporate America today. I mean, we most of the time we don't hire neurodiverse people. If we do, we give them like BS job, like to just to look good, but that's it. I think if human resources were training themselves on what they are good at and what kind of profile would be good for what kind of position, it would benefit everybody. Voila. So I'm done.
Thank you. That's right. And I think James Heaton, you might, your VNS might be interested in that technology. All right, moving on. That was Laetitia, Rochelle, then Victor, then Rajiv. Rochelle, take it away.
Well, good morning, everybody. It's Rochelle from Dynamic Business Growth. And I always say that it's dynamic business growth and not schlep along business growth. Companies really struggle, and I mean struggle, with explaining what they do in a compelling way. Very often they are long-winded, boring, and common, and they speak in jargon that unless you're in that industry, you don't have a clue what the hell they're talking about. So recent great success stories is an attorney came to me. She had to do a presentation for women in law, like how to have them think about themselves as an entrepreneur. And she showed me her presentation and I said, this is extraordinary. I mean, if I ever run out of, melatonin, I can just use this and fall asleep within, less than 5 minutes. I mean, this is perfect if you have issues with, if you're not, back on your time zone due to some sort of, issue with that. This is perfect. You can nod out. I said, we must redo this. In short, we rewrote the entire thing. She gave her presentation and she really had some extraordinary results, With this, she's testing me on something. She's a litigator, and she says that she'd like me to work with her to rewrite her opening statements for court, because she says they have to be compelling. They have to be like, oh my God. And I'm interested and I'm going to take it on. So my thought is, you don't know, you have to leave an impact when you speak to somebody. They have to know, how do you pull a rabbit out of a hat? I don't want to hear that your name is John Smith, you're doing something for 15 years and you're located in Midtown Manhattan. Again, I couldn't care less. I want to know, how do you pull a rabbit out of a hat? What is your extraordinary skill? What is your it factor? What is it about you that after you speak, the only thing I'm interested in is pretty please tell me more. It's as if I want to Velcro myself to your ankle because I am so compelled. So if you feel that you are presenting, that you've got a difficult product that nobody understands what the heck you do, and it needs a story, it needs some metaphors, it needs some compelling language, let's have a conversation, because we're here to leave impact. We are not here to bore people. We are not here to put people to sleep. We are not here to drain their energy and say, how can they stay awake? We're not in a torture exam. So if you need support in that, let's talk. I just love rewriting speeches so that you are left as the only choice.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Victor Lee.
Thanks, Michael. Hi, everybody. I'm Victor Lee. How many people here remember W.C. Fields? Anybody? Okay. W.C. Fields once said, never follow children or animals in your act. Okay. But today, I specifically asked Michael that I wanted to follow Rochelle. And here's why. Because this is such a smart group of folks. You've all noticed that the through line through a lot of these discussions, whether it was Lynn, whether it was Joanie, whether it was Laetitia, it's about engagement, right? How do you get people to pay, I'll insert expletive here, to pay attention to your content? So Rochelle, I was waiting for you to say, are you storytelling or are you boring telling, right? That's how you get your clients to act, right? You tell them your stuff is crap, right? However, the tricky part is often thank you, Rajiv, often that's just your opinion, right? I mean, I know we all know better than our clients, but often we're the ones trying to convince them that their stuff is boring. Some of them, like Rochelle's client, will understand it and they'll make the switch. Others will not. So one tool that we have developed to tackle this is we can give you a score. We can tell you exactly how engaging you are or exactly how boring you are, thanks to ChatGPT. So let me share my screen with you really quickly here, if I can do this right. Okay, oops, wrong place. Let me see, what have I got here? Okay, we have developed a thing called the story quotient. And I don't know if you guys can see this, right? So we can use ChatGPT and we have 5 factors. Oops, I better talk faster. Narrative structure, customer focus, emotional resources, benefits or features, use of language. We have storytelling consultants who developed this product. They're fabulous. And we run your content through our SQ. And it'll tell you that, oh my God, you got a 5 out of 5, or 5.5 out of 10. And even worse, your competitor has a higher score. So I'm talking to Jeff Strauss right after this, because one of our recommendations is you need more case studies or you need to redo your website. So we can give you a tool. I'm also talking to Mark Herre later this afternoon. We can give you a tool you can take to your clients and say, I can prove how boring you are. You don't need just Rochelle to tell you that. And then that can get you more business. So these scores are free. So if you want to run scores on some of your clients, contact me and let's have a conversation. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. All right. Speaking of the devil, Rajiv is up next. Rajiv.
Devil, geez, oh my God. Maybe I need to put my Halo avatar on to counteract that perception. Okay, anyway. Hi everyone, nice to meet you all. As you can see in my Zoom background, this is the SaaS tool that me and my business partner Lynn Donaldson developed, called Lily Launch Tools. It is basically a product that helps you visualize your strategy in a 2-dimensional way and then launch faster. So that's one thing that we do, and I've put the 30-day trial link in the chat, so you can definitely take us up on that, take it for a test drive. Another thing that I do is we erase scandal from the internet by erasing bad reviews and scandal. Yeah, that's basically what we do. I'll put my link in the LinkedIn in the chat. And to anyone that I haven't spoken to recently, I'd love to reconnect. I'll leave it there. Thank you, Michael.
Wonderful. Thank you. All right. Up next, Roger Brooks.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Michael. Roger Brooks, marketing research consultant. I live in the world of primary custom design research, mainly on the quantitative survey research side. So key targets for me, as you can probably see in my background, I have a strong passion for the wine industry. What you see behind me is Paso Robles on the Central Coast, which is one of my favorite places to visit. We actually live in northern Marin, so I'm a hop, skip, and a jump away from Napa and Sonoma. Some recent projects that may come forward for me is just to give you a flavor for some of the things I do. I wish I could give you the name of this brand. I do a lot of work on the brand and product side. He wants to extend his brand name into different product categories, particularly in the spirits area, like wine, beer, and alcoholic spirits. So there is something when a marketer or a company wants to do a line extension, there's something that's called brand equity research, which measures the extent to which a brand can be extended into either a near in line extension or something that's even outside of their category. So that's something he's a little bit intrigued by, and I wish I could tell you the name of his brand. It's hilarious. Another thing that I'm maybe working on is I helped build a startup a few years ago and did a lot of new product research, and I'm still in contact with the CEO, and she's working with a 5-year-old skincare company, and they're doing a lot of advertising on TikTok. So one of the things they want to measure classically is how their advertising is working in terms of purchase funnel metrics, like is awareness increasing, is consideration increasing, are some of the lower funnel metrics building up in terms of likelihood to purchase. So just a flavor of some of the kinds of things that I do. But for me, startups, nonprofits, and the wine industry are key targets and natural clients for me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Faith Tomases.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, my name is Faith Tomases, and I'm speaking right now from my apartment in New York, although I spend half my time in Wilmington, Delaware. So if you want to go see Joe Biden's house, let me know. For my high school reunion, we had to drive all the way around the countryside because the road was blocked off, but that's another story. Anyway, I am a freelance brand strategist, copywriter, and name developer. And I'm very anxious to talk to James because my key target are design firms that need my expertise, but not on a freelance basis, not full time. My strength really is cutting to the chase and identifying a message and projecting it as succinctly as possible, which leads me to have a very strong portfolio in name development. I have often given the example of Icon Parking, which I developed for a parking lot in New York, but if you're not in New York, it doesn't mean anything to you. I also, I'll try and get some appetite appeal in to jog everyone's memory. I worked on the team that did the Kudos granola bar. So if you want, I can't say how good they are. I don't remember them being very good, but that doesn't matter. It was a very big success story. So I've met many of you. I look forward to meeting many more. And I put my specs on the chat, and keep me in mind, please.
Right. And is Zipporah your Hebrew name?
Yes.
It's right on your pendant there.
Oh, and you.
I can still read Hebrew.
Secret code for those that can remember.
I learned something in Hebrew school. Krista, Giannak, take it away.
Excuse me. Do people trust you enough to give you a call? Who trusts you and why? Those are two questions I love for my clients to ponder, because I'm a ghostwriter and blogger primarily. I'm also a speaker, by the way. And so I'm going to invite you all. Some of you are in the area where you might be able to actually come to a keynote I'm doing in 2 weeks, May the 9th, at the Melville Marriott here in Suffolk County, Long Island, New York. I have a friends and family discount, so I can go ahead and post the link to that conference. I believe it's half off because the conference is $325. So I'll go ahead and post the link in case anyone wants it. And feel free to email me or ask me in the chat if you're possibly interested in the friends and family discount.
What is the conference?
It's called Thrive. It's a general business conference. There are going to be a variety of folks, marketers, PR folks, motivation, wellness. It's all different speakers, and the design is so that we can all thrive in our businesses.
Very cool. The Melville Marriott
is called Whose Point of View Is It Anyway? Spoiler alert. The point of view that your audience cares about, whether it's an audience of one or many, will leverage personal narrative to build rapport, because I used to shy away from my story. Now I embrace it as a ghostwriter for clients, but also as a an amateur skier who happens to be blind.
Very cool. Thank you so much. So anybody that is out on Long Island or has easy access to Melville, Long Island, might want to see Krista on May 9th. May 9th?
Krista, is that the company Thrive that is that the company Thrive that you represent and you're going to be
No.
speaking at, or is it just the
The
name of the
conference
conference?
is called Thrive. My company is Wise Words That Matter. I put the information in the chat and kind of focused on other things when I was talking. But yeah, so the Thrive is the conference name. The company who puts it on is just called Trade Solution Center, I believe, or Trade. Yeah, well, at any rate, no one ever asks that.
Thrive Conference in Melville. All right. Keith Reynolds. He popped in late. Are you still
everybody.
here? Go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Keith Reynolds, founder of Publio. Following a skier, I will tell you that on Sunday, I threw my body down a mountain and I'm now relegated to bed until further notice. I really blew out my knee this weekend. But I traveled 18,000 miles last year and ran the company. And so I figure I can do it from bed now. I just wanted to acknowledge Rochelle. I am a marketing geek and I'm proud of it. And I really, I've said that several times, Rochelle, and you haven't been on. So this is, I think, the first time that I've been on with you since we had our meeting. I got a master's degree in economics and technology, and recently was tested positive for all of those things in my marketing. So how many of you work with clients that don't have a content strategy and they're putting stuff out there? Right? Well, that's what I specialize in. I've been in marketing for 35 years, and your content drives or stalls your sales, and it's everything you produce: your website, your blogs, your white papers, social media posts, emails. And if you don't have a strategy and you're spending money on advertising, you've got the cart before the horse. And the right content will help you move from trust to sales to profit. And so if you know a client that needs to understand how you stack up against the competition, what content is missing in that competitive environment, and how you can use content to move customers from awareness to purchase faster, that's what I do. And one example is that recently I have been working with a client that was, I've done this several times, that are spending a lot of money on advertising, and by adjusting the content and targeting a referral network instead of trying to get consumerizing, you actually get a lot more bang for your buck. To help figure that out, I've got 3 packages: an audit, an assessment.
I'm going to have to cut you off, Keith. It's time. Also,
Great.
we're down to the last 2 minutes, and we have one more person who I don't want to let, I don't want to skip, and that's me. So I'll put the timer on for myself.
My cue, man. You go. Thank you.
Thank you all. So my name is Michael Bendit. I like to be known as sort of the software guy. Not that I do any programming myself, but I have behind me about a dozen teams with different skills and capabilities in the software world. About 70% of what we do is in the marketing world. I had a client who was more on the startup side, I guess, recently, or have a client, came to somebody who she knows through Entrepreneurs Organization. And she has an idea, or had an idea, actually developed a talking stick, an electronic talking stick, which if you're familiar with the concept, I think it comes from the Native American world, where you pass the stick to somebody and only that person can talk, so you don't get chaos. And she wanted to apply that to Zoom meetings so that, it would be an app where you couldn't have people interrupting, and only one person with the talking stick could speak. Everybody else, I presume, would be muted. And she came to me, and I happen to have a team who's got experience building Zoom apps, and she has since engaged us. They also have experience in marketing those apps, so she's also using that resource as well. Most of our work is more mundane. I'll say it's a lot of websites, a lot of mobile applications, or I should say a lot of websites, typically WordPress. But we also work with other platforms in the e-commerce world. We work with Shopify and Magento and WooCommerce, among others. We also work with other content management systems, across languages. So our two core targets are marketing applications and startups. And we do small projects as small as a few $100s, particularly if it helps us build a relationship with a digital agency. So time is up. It is 12:01 here on the East Coast. So our hour is up as well. Thank you all for coming. Now's a great time to go to the chat and download it. So save the chat by clicking on the three dots on the bottom left of the chat and hit save chat, which is the first option. And make note of who you want to speak to and follow up with, because that's where you really build those relationships with one-on-ones. And thank you all for coming, and enjoy the rest of the day and the rest of the week.
Thanks, Michael.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.